Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Thursday. Jesus spoke during the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 6 about prayer. He gave them a model that they should follow. He talked about the habits that they should follow when they pray. But he also spoke about the practice of fasting. In Matthew chapter 6 and verse 16, Jesus said, "Moreover, when you fast, do not be like the hypocrites, with a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they appear before men to be fasting. Assuredly, I say to you, they have their reward." Now, first of all, let me point out here that Jesus has said, when you fast. He did not say if you should ever find yourself in some dire circumstances, or if you ever get the urge to fast about something. He said, when. We know it was a regular practice of John the Baptist and his disciples, as was told to Jesus on more than one occasion. And we know that fasting is actually the practice of abstaining from something we want, or maybe something that we need for a certain period of time. Maybe foregoing a meal a day for a while, or maybe foregoing any food for a certain amount of time that we would fast to show God our serious. It doesn't have to be food for that matter. It could be sacrificing anything that is important to us to show God that we're serious. The main objective of fasting is not to show ourselves religious or pious before others. It is to show God how serious we are about a certain prayer request or something that we're seeking for God to do in our lives. In the Old Testament story of Queen Esther, she asked for all the Jews to gather and fast and pray for her as she was going in before the king to ask for a reprieve for her people who were in great danger. In 2 Chronicles chapter 20 and verse 3, King Jehoshaphat calls for the entire nation of Judah to fall before God and fast and pray out of fear for their enemies. The Ammonites and the Moabites were coming to get them. And they prayed and fasted. And by the way, in each of these instances, God showed up in a supernatural way and intervened on behalf of his people. So what is something today that we should be fasting about? Perhaps you have a lost family member or lost friend that you really need to be praying about their salvation. Perhaps it's the wicked condition of America today that we need to be praying that God would make a difference among our people. Or maybe it's just wanting some sort of supernatural work in our hearts and in our lives, and we would fast about that before the Lord. By the way, just as Jesus told them about their practice of praying, he said, don't be hypocritical here, all right? It seems like that the Pharisees would sprinkle ashes on their head. They would go about and disfigure their faces to show everyone that they were fasting. That's not what it's for. They wanted to show how serious their quest or their fast or even what they would call their self-sacrifice was. Actually, Jesus said, you need to clean up. Wash your face, comb your hair. Make it look like it's a normal day for you. Don't appear to be fasting for others. Don't make an appearance or a show of fasting. Fasting is a practice that we do before God. He knows our heart. He knows our actions. And by the way, he has promised, just as he did for those who prayed in their closet, that he would see our fasting in secret and would reward us openly. Is there a circumstance, a burden, a crisis, some great need that you need to be bringing before the Lord in a serious manner? Maybe you should consider fasting. Maybe we should make this a point that I'm going to fast and pray to show God a broken heart that needs his help.